Hello, and welcome back to Space Engineers on the Xbox on the Series X. And I want to take a look at one of my favourite blocks again, the custom turret controller block. This time, I want to talk about two specific kinds of turret that I like to build, and just to reiterate how simple the custom turret controller is to set up when you follow a few simple rules and you just do it methodically. Now, this is a static grid. It counts as a station. It's just several blocks, a battery, and it's a platform to mess about on. And here it is, the base. And as you'll see, I've got a custom turret here already, sitting there. And then, of course, with the warfare updates, you've actually got the proper artillery turrets. This one being the assault cannon turret, and always put your turrets higher than your base, because Space Engineers AI does not discriminate between line of sight and the enemy, so it will blast holes in your base to attempt to get to anything that gets close. That said, let's have a look at a quick setup of a couple of types of custom turrets that you can play around with. One I prefer more than the other. So to begin with, if you're going to pipe these up in terms of survival, then always build your custom turrets using advanced rotors. Advanced rotors being the rotors that connect through to the conveyor system. And also, these are really useful because you don't need to put a control panel down to rename one. You can just go into the control panel. And this one is going to be called Advanced Rotor AZ for azimuth. This is your rotation. And now, on top of this, if we're going to build our first type of turret, we're going to just slap a conveyor junction, because remember, we want to pipe this up. And then just another advanced rotor. This is going to be our elevation rotor. We're going to rename this EL for elevation. And then we're going to think, yep. Okay, now, because it's large grid, we are limited on the vanilla game by what we can slap on there. All these are actual turrets, so we don't want them on there. What we want is rocket launcher, railgun, artillery. Well, you'll notice we won't be able to tip it fully down, but that's fine. We have our artillery attached. Now, one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to put a camera on the conveyor here, because you'll only see in rotation. If you're going to control this in any way, shape or form with a camera, come up the top, flick to your light armor slopes, and just slap one of those on. And then want to come down to remote control, take a look at the little light. Always make sure the light's at the bottom. And we have a camera. And that is pretty much it for a custom turret Mark 1. What do we do then? Well, we're going to need a way to control our custom turret Mark 1. So we're going to slap down a control seat, a control station. like so. And then the magic block that makes all the things happen. We want our custom turret controller. You find it under programmable block. Place it down, and that's where all the magic happens from. So if we go into the setup of the custom turret controller, you will see that it has a set of options. It'll tell you it's missing an elevation or azimuth, rotor or hinge, and a weapon, tool or camera. Well, what we want here is a azimuth rotor. Well, remember, we've got our azimuth, we've got our elevation rotor, and we have a camera. You want to pop the azimuth velocity multiplier up to begin with, and you want to then make sure that you select and add, your artillery cannon, like so. So it appears down there. Now we don't want to worry about the AI for the moment, but if we did, you can have it target meteors, missiles, small ships, large ships, characters, stations, neutrals, friends, and enemies. You can also set up a series of target options for weapons, propulsion, power systems, so that it always shoots at those first. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be some upgrades and potentially changes as part of this new AI update that's coming, Grid AI, I would say. Don't quote me on that, though. So, we have our little custom turret, our custom turret controller, and we need to control it. So, we've got a flight seat. Pop into the flight seat. Push up on the D-pad. And then scroll across till you get to the custom turret controller. Hit A. And then you'll get a massive amount of options on what you're looking for. Right down here under Enable AI on and off is control. And if you've done everything right, you should be able to see you can move your turret. It won't turn all the way around because I put the control seat and everything there. Obviously. See it. And just out of that. And you can give this over to the AI. And we'll just quick save. Again, both bumpers and the X button will quick save. There used to be a quick load, but it conflicted with the auto dampeners, which is RB, LB, and Y. So if you want a quick load, a quick saved game, you need to open up the admin screen with RBY, change the drop down box to replay tool, and just hit reload world. It does the same thing. So there. Now, how far are we away? Let's just check out how our AI is doing. So if we bring up my blueprint menu, I'm looking for the Danube. which I always use to blow up for some reason. Leave that there for now. Another quick save. Back down. This will probably get attacked by my other turrets. Custom turret controller. This time we want to look at down here. The aiming radius is 800 meters. And so if we enable the AI, it can now detect enemy ships, or it should be able to. Should probably get attacked by several of my base defenses the moment that I give it over to the space pirates. So if we come to the control panel on the door, hold both bumpers, press the inventory button, select this door block, press A twice, that will select every block on the grid, and then we come to transfer to, and then space pirates, confirm it. You can see every single defense. This will clang out a bit as well because the AI and these type of turrets tends to have a bit of an issue when you've got things running like that. And how to solve it? Well, shear inertia tensor is your best friend. And yeah, you can see that my base defenses are chewing this thing to pieces. A little Gatling turret is doing its job. And pre-built turret as well. This one's not doing too badly. So let's just do what I said before, reload world, and this time we're going to build up one of my more favorite turret types, and this is going to use the technique taking a large grid and turning it into a small grid. Rather than building a large grid version of this particular turret, we're still going to keep the azimuth rotor, but we're going to get rid of all of the other stuff. And this is one of the quicker turrets to set up and one of the more accurate versions, because you can actually slap a camera on this. So let's just, because we're playing in creative, we can just delete the blocks with the left trigger. Rid of this rotor, this, and this. At this time, this will be more compact. We're going to use a hinge. And as I've said before, when you're placing hinges down, take a look at the little line at the there. That's your lower limit. So we won't need to set a lower limit on this. You can build one of these turrets using just this particular hinge. What I like to do though is cut out that part, come onto your control station, go to your hinge, we'll put shear inertia tensor on again just in case, add a small head to it, and then the custom turret controller, we want to make sure if you've got more hinges on your grid, just remember this is your hinge you're going to use. for elevation. Back to custom turret controller, come down. And you'll notice the elevation rotor's gone. So you want your hinge. We haven't got a camera yet, so don't worry about that. But we can maneuver this to where we want it using our custom turret controller already. And we've got it roughly where we want it. Since we're building on a small grid, what we want to do is put 4 weapons on this, and we'll use autocannons. So if you look at where the autocannons are, or where the conveyor ports on an autocannon are, if you're going to build this in survival, what you want is conveyors, these small conveyors here. As long as they're connected to this, they will work. So you can slap a small conveyor like this in the center. And unless Keen have changed something, that is, this does work. And then you can put your 4 autocannons on this. Yeah, make sure you rotate them correctly so they are linked into the conveyor. And then smack bang in the center to help you aim, you can pop a friendly neighborhood camera. And on small grid, the camera's really easy to place down, like so. And that is the basis of a hinge-built turret. We jump back in. You can roll it. Won't be able to fire any weapons because we need to set up the custom turret controller. So press X, come out of that, go into your control panel, and then pop to the custom turret controller. Then come down, assigned camera, your new camera. And then just pick 1, 2, 3, 4, holding down the right bumper and tapping A all the time. Add tool and weapon. You've got AI enabled, so when it takes over, it should take the lot over. A quick save. And now we've got crosshair and guns. If you come out of that, you've still got control. That's pretty smooth. And again, share inertia tensor should be on for your rotors. I'm going to put it on there just in case the AI clangs out somewhat. And then we're going to see how our little turret responds if we come back over to this again. Click on it. it goes. That's the custom turret controller block. How easy it is to set up, to turn it over to the AI and to use as part of your base or ship defenses. If you follow those steps, follow the rules, you should be able to quite easily set one up. And the control option for it should appear on your shortcut bar when you come across to selecting the custom turret controller, and it's always under enable AI on and off. I have not seen, and I've tried this out on various different kinds of grids and builds, the option not pop up. If it's not popping up, then there could be a problem with the game. I'm not sure why it wouldn't pop up. I've attempted to answer this question for someone else, but I've gone through numerous iterations, including with my buddy Paul Thompson, and we cannot come up with a scenario where control won't appear on the flight seat or one of the other control seats in the game. A little more information on the grid, of course, would always be helpful. If you are going to ask me a question, make sure you give out as much information as is possible. It's no good, for instance, as Paul said, telling me that you've put something on a shelf in your house and then asking me if I like it, because I don't have remote control viewing abilities into your house, and I can't tell you what you put on your shelf and what it is for me to like it or not like it. The same goes for when you comment and ask a question on a Space Engineers video. If you're having a problem, say, with a particular build that's not working, an option that's not appearing, like Share Inertia Tensor isn't appearing, then it helps to know as much information about that, whether you're playing solo, whether you're playing on a server. Certain server admin turn Share Inertia Tensor off. There is a bug in the game where Share Inertia Tensor won't appear on certain things, and so on and so forth. But that said, there you go. Those are my two small builds for the custom turret controller, and a kind of redux or a new look at the custom turret controller block. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be diving back onto that block when the new update comes out. I can't see them not adding some funky things to it. I will be, of course, going through this grid AI with a fine-tooth comb, doing build videos and tutorials, and hopefully shedding some light and demystifying these new blocks, this new update, and all the good stuff that's yet to come. That's all I've got time for. Thank you very much for watching, subscribing. Remember, if you subscribe, if you like, you help me, the channel. But also, if we hit this 2,000 subscriber mark, me and Paul, we shall release the all-terrain armored transport for Star Wars for Space Engineers. And trust me, Paul has done an amazing job on it, the same as he did with the Jaeger. And I'm sure with all these new blocks that are coming, he will go through and rebuild some of the systems to make his life and yours much easier. That said, I'm going to go, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.